A virus is a small collection of genetic code, either DNA or RNA, surrounded by a protein code. A virus cannot replicate alone. Viruses must infect cells and use components of the host cell to make copies of themselves. They often kill the host cell in the process or damage it. Some common viral infections include common cold, influenza, herpes, chickenpox, mumps, human papillomavirus, measles, and rubella. What is the difference between parasite and virus? Bacteria and viruses can live outside of the human body, sometimes for many hours or days, but parasites need a living host to survive. Bacteria and parasites can be killed with antibodies, but these medicines cannot kill viruses. Today I will outline 10 deadliest viruses over last 100 years. Number 1, Spanish flu. Discovered in 1918, infected 500 million people and death rate was up to 100 million. What is Spanish flu? Also known as a great influenza pandemic 1918. It was an exceptionally deadly global influenza caused by the H1N1 influenza A virus. Treatment. There was no treatment medication effective against Spanish flu or antibiotics to treat the infections that people got as complications of the flu. There were also no machines to provide mechanical ventilation and no intensive care units. It lasted between 1918 to 1919 and it occurred in 3 waves. Next among the deadliest virus is rabies. It was discovered in 1920. It infected 29 million people a year and deaths were found to be 59,000 a year. Now what causes rabies? Rabies is a deadly virus spread to people from the saliva of infected animals. It usually transmits through a bite. Animals most likely to transmit rabies in the United States include bats, coyotes, fox, raccoons, and skunks. Treatment. Once rabies infection is established, it cannot be cured. It has no effective treatment. What rabies do to humans? Following the bite, the rabies virus spread by way of the nerve cells to the brain. Once in the brain, the virus multiplies rapidly. This activity causes severe inflammation of the brain and spinal cord, after which the person deteriorates rapidly and dies. There is a common misconception that all dogs and cats have rabies. They can only have rabies if they are bitten by a rabid animal. Next deadliest virus is HIV. It was discovered in 1920, infected 75 million people and caused 32 million deaths. What is HIV? Human immunodeficiency virus are two species of lentivirus that infects humans. Over time they cause AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. It is a condition in which progressive failure of immune system allows life-threatening opportunistic infections and cancer to thrive. It came from a type of chimpanzee in Central Africa. Can HIV be cured? There is no cure for HIV yet, but treatments keep the virus under control and people can live a long and healthy life. Next virus is smallpox. No idea when it was actually discovered, but it killed 300 million people in 20th century. How smallpox affect you? It is an acute contagious viral disease with fever and pustules that usually leave permanent scars. It was effectively eradicated through vaccination by 1979. Next we have dengue. It was discovered in 1950. It infected 100 million to 400 million a year and death ratio is 25%. What is dengue? Dengue fever is a mosquito-borne illness that occurs in tropical and subtropical areas of the world. Mild dengue fever causes a high fever and flu-like symptoms. Can dengue be cured? Dengue is a virus, so there is no specific treatment or cure. However, intervention can help depending on how severe the disease is. High fever and vomiting dehydrates the body. Next virus is rotavirus. It was discovered in 1973. Death rate 0.9 to zero point 0.5 million a year. What is rotavirus? Rotavirus is a genus of double-stranded RNA viruses in the family Reoviridae. Rotavirus are the most common cause of diarrheal disease among infants and young children. Nearly every child in the world is infected with the rotavirus at least once by the age of 5. What are the precautions? Good hygiene, like hand washing and cleanliness, are important. Even vaccinated children may get infected and sick. It is transmitted by fecal oral contact. Next among the deadliest viruses is Ebola. Discovered in 1976, infected 31,095 people, death caused were 12,950. What is Ebola? Ebola is a rare but deadly virus that causes fever, body aches, and diarrhea, sometimes bleeding inside and outside the body. As the virus spreads through the body, it damages the immune system and organs. Ultimately, it causes levels of blood clotting cells to drop. This leads to severe uncontrollable bleeding. Treatment. There is a vaccine given as a single dose found to be safe and protective against Zaire Ebola virus, which has caused the largest deadly Ebola outbreaks to date. Next deadliest viruses that we are going to discuss are called New Era Deadliest Viruses. On top, there is SARS-CoV. It was discovered in 2002, infected 8,100 people, out of which 800 died. What is SARS-CoV? It is a member of a large family of viruses called coronaviruses. These viruses can infect people and some animals. Severe acute respiratory syndrome is a strain of coronavirus and damaged respiratory system. Next virus is MERS. It was discovered in 2012, infected 2,494, out of which 858 died. What is MERS? Middle East Respiratory Syndrome. MERS is viral respiratory illness that is new to humans. It was first reported in Saudi Arabia in 2012. It is a zoonotic virus, which means it is a virus that is transmitted between animals and people. Treatment. There is no specific antiviral treatment recommended for MERS-CoV infection. Patients receive help to relieve symptoms that are ventilators or other pain-killing medicines. The last virus which we are going to discuss is, as expected, COVID 19. It was discovered in 2019 and infected 25 million people, caused 0.6 million deaths. What is COVID 19? COVID 19 is a new strain of coronavirus that causes an infectious disease. The virus and disease it causes were never known before December 2019. What are the symptoms? Fever, cough, tiredness, loss of taste and smell. Serious symptoms are difficulty breathing or shortness of breath, chest pain, and loss of mobility. Transmission. COVID 19 transmits when people breathe in air, contaminated by droplets and small airborne particles. The risk of breathing these is the highest when people are in close proximity, but they can be inhaled over longer distances, particularly indoors. Vaccination of COVID 19. Following are some common vaccines of COVID 19: Pfizer, Moderna, Sinopharm, Sputnik 5, and Oxford AstraZeneca. Have a healthy and safe life. Thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye.